Hi friends, are you constantly getting bad teammates in Apex Legends, whether you're playing trios or duos? Well, I've got the reason why in this video. It's called the Big Brother matchmaking effect, and that's the feeling you get when your teammates are constantly worse than you and you feel like you're being made to carry them because you're the better player. Well, it turns out the matchmaking system isn't really doing it intentionally. Now, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, because at least if it was doing it intentionally, it could be changed easily, but it seems like it's kind of doing it by accident, or at least more so as a consequence of other factors. Let me explain. Firstly, there's always a wide range of skills in your matches, especially if you're a high skilled player. And if you are a high skilled player, the pool of players at your level is going to be relatively small compared to the rest of the Apex player base. That means you're more likely to be paired up with players weaker than you, not because the system wants you to carry them, but because you're simply better than most of the other players that the system can find to put in your lobby. If you look at this graph on the distribution of players in terms of skill in the blue bars, you can see that actually most of the skill levels and most of the players sit in that middle skill bracket. Those are the higher bars, and if you're in the top, even if it's just the top 5%, which is fairly wide, for a game like Apex, especially where the player base has been falling in recent seasons, and that could be anything up to diamond, maybe even high platinum, is actually a relatively small percentage of the player base. And the fact is, if they only wait for players of your skill level to start the game, it's going to be an incredibly long wait till you can find just one game. So essentially the Apex Legends matchmaking system sacrifices some of that skill difference to give you slightly faster matches. Secondly, the way matching up squads works in pubs is that it tries to slice the skill in the lobby vertically, and you can see that being done in this diagram where you've got slightly different skills of players in the same lobby, and typically it tries to slice it downwards where your average kind of skill rating in the squad is going to even out, and that sometimes ends with there being a higher skill player, a mid skill player, and then a lower skill player in the same squad to fill out that squad and that lobby. The third reason is actually something that's influenced by other people's choices, and that is the fact that higher skilled players tend to squad up, which obviously worsens the previous 2 points because it means there are less players that you could be paired up with, and you can see that in this pie chart. The green is the pre-made squads of trios, orange is the pre-made squads of duos, and blue are the solo queuers. And clearly you can see that means almost 70% of diamond plus skilled players, which they're classing as high skilled in this sense, queue as a pre-made team. That means only 30% of the player base is available for you to be queued up with if you're solo queuing. So ultimately, if you don't have friends and you do solo queue in pubs, you do just have higher odds of getting lower skilled teammates simply due to the number of pre-made teams, as you can see by that pie graph. Also, due to the way matchmaking works, they do end up mixing pre-made teams with squads made up of 3 solo players. So not only could you have teammates worse than you, but you could also come up against triple stack pre-made teams on comms that have 3 players all at your skill level, even though your teammates are lower skilled than you. So ultimately, if you put all these things together, that kind of explains why even though you're a good player, you keep getting worse teammates than you, and it's almost a symptom of how the SBMM matchmaking system works in Apex Legends. And according to the devs, if there were 60 players of your exact same skill level, the chances are very high that you would get teammates at the same level. The slight issue is that that's just not the case in Apex Legends, especially given the falling player base in the past few seasons. On some potentially positive news, Respawn are working on trying to make improvements to this part of the system. They're trying to tighten the skill gap in lobbies, and in theory that means you should have better teammates moving forward in the future. You can see in this graph when they were doing the tests on the new matchmaking, the pink line shows the test location, and the drop in that pink line towards the end is essentially the difference in performance dropping within squads, and that basically means the squads are more even out in terms of skill and performance in games. Now personally, I've not actually experienced this in my lobbies yet. My teammates still seem to be worse than me, and I'm aware they're doing a staged rollout of this, so I'm just assuming in the region that I'm in, it's just not been fully rolled out yet. And it could be the same for you if you're still experiencing bad teammates. Anyways, that was just an informational video for you to give you some facts around the matchmaking system and why it's leading to you getting bad teammates. Hopefully this gets better in the future, we'll have to wait and see. For now though, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.